Hey, everybody, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. What's on the news today? China cracked down on their employees. Their kids playing games. Today, we're going to talk about China and their attempt to curb gaming as it grows in their market there and the steps that they're taking. So let's see. They're trying to limit time frames that children can play 3 hours a day. Let's start with that. So let's go to somebody who has never only played 3 hours in their freaking life in one day. Nick, what do you think about this? 3 hours, you do that on the toilet.
Nick gets 3 hours in his sleep of gaming.
I do. Yeah, that would suck if it happened here. I don't think I could do just 3 hours a day. Yeah, it really sucks for them, maybe, I don't know if that's really the right approach. I'm not sure what approach they want to go with here. Clearly that's what they want to go with, but what's the right approach for them, to curb this gaming habit that the country has? Clearly they seem to have some sort of issue with gaming there, right? We've heard of different places having those, gaming cafes where people sitting there for hours a day, and maybe that's what's going on here, or maybe they're seeing something about this. But wasn't it China? And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they recently just start allowing games or gaming in their country recently? Was it them or was it someone else?
No, China. China hadn't been letting consoles, if I remember correctly. Pat, please check me, make sure I'm not wrong here. But I believe it was the consoles they just started letting into the country. Because PCs, they're PCs. People will find a way to play a game on a PC, but I believe it was just consoles. But like I said, don't quote me, but I'm pretty positive I'm correct there.
Yeah, I knew they had something that came on recently, and I couldn't remember if it was certain games or gaming in general or just certain consoles or something like that. So, they start to let them in, and you see more of their citizens take on these forms of entertainment in an addictive way, apparently, according to their government. So, yeah, man, it sucks for them. It sucks for the citizens of China to have to take on this 3 hour window that they can only play. And I think it's only on the weekends, right? So, yeah, how do you, I guess, how do you govern that, first off? And secondly, if China has this addictive property about itself with the citizens, what's, I guess the longer question is what's going on with that they have this type of addictive personality. But all in all, yeah, it's a big letdown for gamers in general and gamers in China that really want to play these games, and also for developers that want to pursue that market, right? And I think one of the things we read is China's also slowing down the approval for new online games. So, their new games that come on or come into the market, they're slowing down their approval rating, or the approval to belong in that market. So you're going to have this slow trickle of new games in there. So they're really, I don't know. This is just some crazy stuff. What do you think, Patrick? What do you think about all this?
Yep. So, yeah, Shane, I think you're talking about the console ban that was in the country until 2014. They banned consoles till 2014 or something like that. So China's always had this kind of non-thing against gaming. But you're asking how they can do it. This is coming from the country known as the Great Firewall, who basically controls the internet of every citizen in their country. So they can do whatever they want. I think the two largest internet providers in there are ones that are trying to enforce that. But yeah, you are right. They can only play for 1 hour between 8 and 9 p.m. on Fridays, weekends, and public holidays.
I thought it was
So
3 hours. Is it just
it's 1 hour.
It's
So
in
1 hour on
total.
Friday, 1 hour on Saturday, and 1 hour on Sunday. So it's 3 hours.
Okay.
So
Wow.
So you can only get
So
an hour in.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and
That's not a very long time to get a game in.
Yeah,
Right.
press
Well,
start.
here's the question.
Now go back to bed.
How do they? Because I heard about this. And I didn't look too much into it, but how do they know it's a child and not an adult? Because this only. I mean, because this is only for children, right? I'm pretty sure that it's children are only allowed, those under the age of 18. So yeah, it's only under the age of 18. So how do they prove you? Do you have to log? I don't know much about China's internet. I make a joke, but they are known to have their firewall is known as the Great Firewall because after the Great Wall, because China controls all internet in and out. They can flip a switch and chop off the external access, and they control what sites are loaded within their country's environment. They control the endpoints of that environment.
Yep.
I mean, they just had they already had some pretty strict regulations from 2019 that they had regulations where they can only play like an hour and a half per day anyway. But now it just restricts it from an hour and a half any day to an hour on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. I kind of wonder, how do they understand that they have a gaming addiction problem? I mean, they're saying it's to prevent minors from becoming addicted to video games, but do they think that all these other, I mean, I don't know what they think. A lot of Western countries, this one, United States included, they don't have any rules like that. And we still operate as a society. We have people who play a lot of video games. I mean, the three of us technically are probably considered play a lot of video games, but I would consider the three of us also completely successful in the workplace. We're successful at what we do. We have responsibilities. So, I mean, all this does is every time China comes out with something like this, it disrupts the gaming market, right? Because how many people didn't know that they already had a game restriction time in play, that they can only do an hour and a half every day? And, it doesn't seem as bad when you go, well, they used to be able to play an hour and a half every day, and now they can only play an hour every 3 days. It's, in my opinion, it's a big deal, but it's not as big as it would go. They have free reign, and now they only get an hour 3 days a week, and then on holidays they can play. So to me, it's kind of, it is what it is. I mean, it's China. It's a communist country. They control everything. So that includes what you do. So they're basically saying that you don't have free reign. If you want to play this video game, you get an hour. I would just like to know how they prove that the kids one playing the video game or the parents are playing the video game or whatever. Do they start saying something if I was in the country and I played for 6 hours a day, do they start saying something to me? Or maybe I let my kid play and they think it's me, there's a lot of questions that I don't know the answer to.
I think it's probably honor system. Plus, I think it's also kind of like the whole Texas abortion ban. Anybody can see or say something, say, hey, person A is letting their kid play, 2 hours. I heard the little bastard playing Halo for, 2 hours or whatever. I mean, I would imagine they have something like that going on. Which is just wrong, because you get one shitty neighbor and you're screwed. And what is the punishment? That's one thing I don't think I found. What is the punishment for letting your child play for an extra hour? I mean,
Chinese finger trap. No, what this all came down to is basically a group of Chinese politicians, and one or more don't like gaming, or don't like this or that, and they throw their rules onto other people. And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, it's the same thing in the US. We've had similar things like this try to happen, where you have those politicians that come out and they don't like a certain thing, and so they go after it and create lawsuits and various things like that to try to block it and prevent it from happening. And it's a little harder to do in the US, right? Because of the rules and laws and governance that we have in place. But in China, it's a little bit more stricter, I would assume. So, you have these group of people that just say, this is what we think is best, whether it be best or not. It's just what they don't like, right? They're not preventing other people from watching, from my understanding, they're not preventing them from watching movies, 20 hours a day, right? Or doing other things. I mean, there's a lot of addictive things that you could do in your life, and gaming is just one of those aspects where that can be an addictive thing. So if you're going to prevent one thing or you're going to do something to one thing, you should do it to all, right? It's a one an all or nothing type of situation. So, yeah, I mean, they're just trying to throw their weight around, is what I feel like.
I definitely wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, China is not known for their, hey, you have fun. I mean, it's just not. I mean, China is, to me, and I've been on this planet a little long. China's just about getting bigger. That's it. I mean, they're trying to work their way into Afghanistan of all places right now. As soon as America pulled out, they're trying to run roads through there. China is just about taking care of China, and it's not about their people. I don't think any of their laws are. I mean, it's about money. It's about empower. That's it. I mean, that's China's deal. They are going to be the biggest, most powerful country on this planet in another year or two. And that's all they care about. I mean, I think that you're right. That's all these laws are for, is about control. China don't want you to play games, but they want you to manufacture those products. I mean, that's not racist. That's a goddamn fact. I mean, Apple don't make shit that ain't in China. Microsoft, hell, Japan, Sony makes their stuff in China.
You buy a USA mug, on the bottom it says "Made in China."
That's right. That's right.
Right. Yeah, they're all about the control, like you said. I mean, that's what they do, right? They want to make the money off of the other countries that are not. So they got to get they're going to have the great firewall. They're going to notice the great workforce next, because they got to keep that workforce pumping out the products that all these Western and other countries are using. I think it's extremely overzealous, but I mean, 1.5 hours, 7 days a week to 1 hour, 3 days a week. I mean, what really difference is that? I mean, it does make a huge difference. 4 days that you can't play a video game and half an hour less on the days that you can. I just would like to know. Days. I just want to, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I just wonder how they enforce this, and how do they tell the difference between when a kid's doing it and an adult's doing it. I tried to Google it and I couldn't find a whole lot of information on it. It happens, and there's sites that tell you how they do it, but they're limited and paid behind a paywall, and I'm not paying some antiquated technology that used to be a newspaper money so that I can read the article. Right. I'll go find it somewhere else.
I wonder that too, Patrick. How do they enforce it? Right. What are they doing to enforce this law?
What is the punishment? Well, really what I want to know. I mean,
they have like 2 large gaming control companies there, Tencent and something else. I can't remember what the other one's called. And they control a lot of it. So I guarantee it's more like they are spying on the people that are there. And they're the ones notifying if somebody's going over. I wonder if you have to have unique accounts per person when you're using Tencent or whatever. And so they're like basically saying, but that's basically the honor system. Like you said, like I could give my kid my device and let them log in and play on my account. And it is what it is. If that's what your prerogative is. I believe technology is good for some kids. I mean, it's an outlet. Yes, and it's especially like, think about now when it's COVID. Your kids can't go outside and play with their friends, or even all last year. Could you imagine if I told my kid, you'll only talk to your friend an hour on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because that's where they talk. They hang out online now because they're not out running the streets or hanging out with other people getting sick. That would be detrimental to their mental health, I would think.
Yeah, it's an overreach of power, which is just, it's wrong. It's wrong what they're doing. But look at what China's doing now. I mean, they're taking over the world. I mean, they truly are. I mean, they own our asses. I mean, look left, look right. You're going to see China. I mean, that's plain and simple. And China, they're growing because we want them to. We pay them to make our shit. So we can get lazier. We can get, we can play our games for 12 hours a day. So Nick can sleep in his bed,
That's right. But you know how you can get around this, Shane? ExpressVPN. Just go to ExpressVPN, put in our code, IGG Gaming. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's a joke.
But if Express is listening, no. You know how they keep an eye on this? Remember when Xbox stopped putting the Kinects into the series or into the Xboxes? Boom. They're sitting over in China.
They're giving them all a Kinect.
Yep. So they're being watched by Kinect. I don't know, but
or
it's
PlayStation Move. They got the eye or whatever.
Yeah, PlayStation Eye. But it's sad that that these kids have to grow up this way. It's sad that a group of people have to grow up this way that are ruled by such a dictatorship. I mean, they're trying to destroy Hong Kong. Instead of letting them keep their autonomy, they're they're doing everything they can to. No, Hong Kong.
Oh, you mean Hong Kong? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Hong Kong. They had autonomy for I can't remember how long it was, but China is set to take that back, and they've been imposing rule after rule after rule onto them until that's done. Basically, breaking them down. So at the end of the line, it ain't going to take much to put them in their place. They're trying to do the same thing with, I think, Taiwan or Thailand. I believe it's Taiwan. They're trying to take control of Taiwan again, saying, no, we own Taiwan. Taiwan's like, fuck you. No, we're not you. So
they're trying to be the superpower.
They are, because if they take Taiwan, I mean, the Taiwan economy is amazing because Taiwan makes a shit ton of stuff. So, but we're getting off topic a little bit. It's heartbreaking, and I feel bad for those kids that they don't get to grow up to being kids. They get to grow up to be slave labor for corporations. They get to grow up controlled like dogs, by these bureaucratic businessmen who are running everything, and that's the way it's going to stay. I mean, people in China need to rise up.
Well, you can only have fun when we say you can have fun.
Okay. Fun is an F word.
No, fun is on Saturdays between 8 and 8:15.
Yeah, that's 15 minutes out of your 1 hour gaming time between 8 and 9.
No, but you can't have both now. Don't be greedy.
Only one thing at a time.
But there's all kinds of people in this country hollering, I wish the United States had stuff like this. There's overzealous people. I'd be like, no, I mean, I'm fine if my kid puts in a couple hours.
We got enough assholes destroying everything and controlling everybody's lives over here. They start telling me what I can and cannot do for fun and when I can't do it. Oh, hell no.
Well, they're not talking about you. They're talking about kids, unless you consider yourself a big kid, which I think we all do.
Yeah, but playing with my kids doing those things is what I enjoy. So, whoever's trying to do this, they can eat an asshole. Pardon my language. But, it's a sad thing. And, before we beat this thing to death, as Pat likes to say, you guys got anything else you want to say about this BS crap going on in China?
Made in China.
No. Made in China. All right. Well, guys, thanks for listening. Make sure give us a little feedback. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you agree with us. Tell us if you disagree. Just give us your thoughts and opinions on this. We definitely want to know. Give us things that you want to see us discuss too. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell your granny. We'll see you next time. See ya.